A stronger erection in 10 minutes, no pills, no prescriptions, no side effects. Now, I know that sounds like one of those late night infomercial promises, but stick with me here because I'm Dr. Olivia Grant. I've been practicing integrative medicine for over 30 years, and what I'm about to share with you today is backed by real science, real studies, and real results that I've seen firsthand in my own clinic right here in Austin, Texas. Now, let me ask you something. How many of you have been told that the only way to deal with erectile dysfunction is to pop a little blue pill? Yeah, I thought so. Look, Viagra and Cialis, they work. I'm not going to deny that. But here's what most doctors won't tell you. There are natural methods, things you can start doing today, some of them in the next 10 minutes that can produce similar results without the headaches, without the flushing, without that stuffy nose, and without spending a fortune at the pharmacy every single month. Erectile dysfunction affects roughly half of all men between the ages of 40 and 70. That's not a small number, people. And if you're over 60, the chances go up even more. But here's the thing that really gets me fired up. Most men think it's just a normal part of aging, like gray hair or creaky knees. It's not. A lot of the time, it comes down to three things: blood flow, stress hormones, and nutrient deficiencies. Fix those three, and you'd be amazed at what your body can still do. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what to do, step by step. I'll give you the ancient remedies that have been working for thousands of years, the modern science that proves why they work, and some practical tricks you can use tonight. And I mean tonight. I'll even give you the exact dosages, because I know that's the number one question I get from my patients. They'll say, "Doc, that's great, but how much do I actually take?" Fair question. I'll answer it. Let's start with something that's been around for over 2,000 years. In traditional Chinese medicine, there's an herb called epimedium, but most people know it by its more colorful name, Horny Goat Weed. Now, before you laugh, hear me out. There's actually a fascinating story behind that name. Legend has it that a Chinese goat herder noticed his goats became unusually, let's say, frisky after eating a particular plant on the mountainside. He brought it to local healers, they studied it, and it became one of the most widely used aphrodisiacs in all of Chinese medicine. But here's where it gets really interesting from a scientific standpoint. Epimedium contains a compound called icariin. Now, icariin works by inhibiting an enzyme called PDE5. If that sounds familiar, it should, because that's the exact same enzyme that Viagra blocks. Same mechanism, different source. One comes from a lab, the other comes from a plant that's been growing in the mountains of China for millennia. Icariin also boosts your nitric oxide levels, and nitric oxide is the key molecule that relaxes the smooth muscles in your blood vessels, allowing more blood to flow where you need it most. Better blood flow equals a stronger, longer-lasting erection. It's that straightforward. Now here's what the video you might have seen before didn't tell you, and this is important. Dosage matters. For epimedium, most clinical studies use between 500 and 1,500 milligrams per day of a standardized extract containing at least 10% icariin. You can find this at most health food stores or online. Start at the lower end, 500 milligrams, and work your way up. Take it with food and give it about 2 to 3 weeks of consistent use to see the full effect. Some men notice changes within a few days, but for most, the real benefits build over time. Now let's hop over to India, because Ayurvedic medicine has given us another absolute powerhouse. I'm talking about Ashwagandha. If you haven't heard of Ashwagandha yet, you will, because it's everywhere right now, and for good reason. Ashwagandha is what we call an adaptogen. That means it helps your body adapt to stress. And stress, my friends, is one of the biggest erection killers out there. Here's why. When you're stressed, your body pumps out cortisol. Cortisol is your fight or flight hormone. It's great if you're running from a bear, but it's terrible for your sex life. Cortisol constricts your blood vessels, which means less blood flow to the penis. It also suppresses testosterone production over time. So you've got this double whammy, less blood flow and lower testosterone. No wonder you're struggling. Ashwagandha tackles both problems. Studies published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition showed that men who took ashwagandha for 8 weeks had significantly higher testosterone levels and lower cortisol. We're talking about a real measurable hormonal shift. The recommended dosage is 300 to 600 milligrams per day of a root extract standardized to at least 5% with analytes. Take it in the evening because it also helps with sleep and good sleep is another pillar of sexual health that most people overlook. Now I want to move into something that might surprise you. One of the most scientifically validated methods for improving erectile function doesn't involve taking anything at all. I'm talking about Kegel exercises. Yeah, Kegels aren't just for women after pregnancy. Men, listen up, because this could be a game changer for you. Your pelvic floor muscles are like the foundation of a house. If the foundation is weak, everything above it suffers. These muscles are responsible for maintaining blood flow to your penis during an erection. Strengthen them and you strengthen your erections. It really is that simple. Here's how to do it. First, you need to find your pelvic floor muscles. The easiest way is to stop your urine stream mid-flow next time you're in the bathroom. Those muscles you just clenched, those are your pelvic floor muscles. Now here's the exercise. Squeeze those muscles and hold for 3 to 5 seconds. Release and arrest for 3 to 5 seconds. Repeat that 10 to 15 times. Do this 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. You can do it sitting at your desk, watching TV, even waiting in line at the grocery store. Nobody's going to know. And here's the kicker. A study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that 40% of men who did Kegel exercises regularly saw a significant improvement in their erections within just a few weeks. 40%. That's almost half. And all they did was squeeze and release a muscle a few times a day. No pills, no doctor visits, no cost whatsoever. The key is consistency. Just like going to the gym, you won't see results from one workout. But if you commit to doing these every single day, within 3 to 6 weeks, you should start noticing a real difference. Some of my patients tell me it's like night and day. All right, let's talk about something that ties a lot of this together, and that's nitric oxide. I've mentioned it a couple of times already, but I want you to really understand why it's so important. Nitric oxide is a natural molecule your body produces, and its job is to dilate your blood vessels so more blood can flow through them. This is the exact mechanism that prescription ED medications use. They boost nitric oxide signaling, but you can do the same thing naturally. One of the best ways is through an amino acid called L-Arginine. L-Arginine is a precursor to nitric oxide, meaning your body converts it directly into NO. A study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that men who supplemented with L-Arginine experienced noticeable improvements in erection quality. And here's the part everyone wants to know. The recommended dosage is 3 to 5 grams per day. You can take it as a supplement, usually in powder or capsule form, or you can get it naturally from foods like watermelon, spinach, turkey, pumpkin seeds, and nuts. Speaking of watermelon, let me tell you something most people don't know. Watermelon is loaded with an amino acid called citrulline, which your body converts into L-Arginine, which then boosts nitric oxide production. A study published in Urology showed that citrulline supplementation improved erection firmness in men. Now I want to be honest with you here, because I always keep it real. Eating a slice of watermelon isn't going to work like popping a Viagra 30 minutes before. The conversion process from citrulline to arginine to nitric oxide takes time. But if you're consistently eating citrulline-rich foods or taking a citrulline supplement, say about 1.5 grams per day, you're giving your body a steady supply of the raw materials it needs to maintain healthy blood flow over the long term. Think of it as daily maintenance for your vascular system. Now, let me share a technique that I personally recommend to almost every man who walks into my office complaining about ED, and it has nothing to do with herbs or supplements. It's a breathing exercise called the 4-7-8 method, developed by Dr. Andrew Weil out of the University of Arizona. Here's why this matters. Performance anxiety is one of the most common psychological causes of erectile dysfunction, especially in men over 50. You get in your head, you start worrying about whether things are going to work, and that worry triggers cortisol release, which constricts your blood vessels, which makes it harder to get an erection, which makes you worry more. It's a vicious cycle. The 4-7-8 breathing method breaks that cycle by activating your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system that's the opposite of fight or flight. Here's how you do it. Breathe in quietly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale completely through your mouth for 8 seconds, making a whooshing sound. Repeat this cycle 4 to 5 times. That's it. The whole thing takes about 2 minutes. What happens is your cortisol drops, your heart rate slows, your blood vessels relax, and blood flow to your pelvic region increases. I've had patients tell me they do this right before intimacy, and the difference is remarkable. It's free, it's easy, and you can feel the effects almost immediately. Even if you don't use it for ED specifically, it's one of the best stress reduction tools I know of. Here's another quick practical tip that costs you absolutely nothing. If you're lying down during intimacy, try placing a small pillow or folded towel under your hips to elevate your pelvis slightly. This simple adjustment changes the angle and promotes better blood flow to the pelvic area. It's a small thing, but several of my patients have told me it makes a noticeable difference, particularly for men who are dealing with mild circulation issues. Now, everything I've shared so far can produce quick results, some of it within minutes, some within weeks. But if you're serious about long-term sexual health, and I mean years from now, not just tonight, then I want to tell you about one more thing. It's called Maca root, and it's sometimes referred to as Peruvian Viagra, though honestly that nickname undersells it. Maca has been used in South America for thousands of years. The Incas actually gave it to their warriors before battle to increase stamina and energy. And unlike some ancient remedies that turned out to be more myth than medicine, Maca has solid research behind it. A study published in the journal Andrologia found that men who took 1.5 to 3 grams of maca daily for 8 weeks experienced a significant increase in sexual desire and sexual performance. Not just desire, but actual performance. What makes maca special is that it works on multiple levels. It helps balance hormones, including testosterone. It boosts overall energy levels, which matters a lot when you're over 60. And it improves mood, which ties back into that psychological component of ED that we talked about. You can get maca as a powder that you mix into smoothies or oatmeal, or you can take it in capsule form. The taste of the powder is earthy, a little nutty, not bad at all. Start with 1.5 grams per day and work up to 3 grams. Give it at least 6 to 8 weeks before you judge the results. Now, let me pull all of this together for you because I know that was a lot of information. Think of your approach as having 2 tracks. Track 1 is your quick fixes, the things you can do right now. That includes the 4-7-8 breathing technique before intimacy, starting your Kegel exercises today, and the pillow trick. Track 2 is your long-term foundation. That means adding L-Arginine at 3 to 5 grams daily, incorporating maca root at 1.5 to 3 grams daily, considering epimedium at 500 to 1,500 milligrams daily, and ashwagandha at 300 to 600 milligrams daily. And look, I always tell my patients this, so I'm going to tell all of you too. Before you start any new supplement regimen, talk to your doctor, especially if you're on blood pressure medication or blood thinners, because some of these herbs can interact with those drugs. I'm giving you the information, but your personal physician knows your specific health situation. That conversation matters. One more thing, and I think this is really important. Erectile dysfunction is not a character flaw. It's not a failure. It's a medical condition with real physiological causes. And in many cases, it's your body's way of telling you something about your cardiovascular health. In fact, ED is often one of the earliest warning signs of heart disease because the blood vessels in the penis are smaller than the ones in the heart, so they show problems first. If you're experiencing persistent ED, please get a full cardiovascular workup. It could save more than your sex life. It could save your life, period. I've been helping men with these issues for over 3 decades now. And I can tell you that the men who do best are the ones who take a comprehensive approach. They don't just look for the quick fix. They address the stress, they move their bodies, they eat the right foods, and they give their body the nutrients it needs. When you do all of those things together, the results can be truly remarkable, even well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. If you found this helpful, do me a favor. Drop a comment below and let me know which tip you're going to try first. And if you have a friend who might benefit from this information, share this video with him. There's no shame in it. We're all in this together. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, gentlemen.